Hi everybody, welcome back to update 3.
Hello.
So in this update, we've all got some progress, I think. Even Gary's got some progress. And we've got an entire event set up, which is going to be exciting. So yeah, let's get into it. Hey everyone. Yes, so we have an entire event set up now. So we're going to be playing, this is our mini Tale of Four Gamers, and it's going to conclude, well, kind of this week. We're going to be playing a game or two, was the plan originally, at Warhammer World in Nottingham on Good Friday this week. But actually, the lovely people in the Warcom team, particularly Nick Baton, has turned it into a bit of an event. We're now going to be playing with, with 20 other people. We're going to have a little Tale of 24 Gamers, I've called it. And there's going to be us. There's going to be Nick's usual gang of Sunday players who are all coming down because it's a bank holiday here in the UK. And we're going to play 4 games of friendly beginners, rivals plus Underworlds over the course of the day. So, that's going to be interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. Looking forward to it.
Yeah,
definitely grown a little bit from just us four turning up.
I know, right? We might. We're in the weird position now where we might not actually play each other.
Yeah,
that's true.
We might have to sneak in some games beforehand, just so we know what's going on.
Yeah. I think maybe
it's quite nice though, because the other Tale of Four Gamers we finished with a big event that Ben organised up at Warhammer World, and now we're finishing up with another quite a big event up at Warhammer World. So it's kind of nice to have more than just us getting people involved.
It's kind of nice to keep having people organising events for us.
I know, right? Yeah, and so it is. Yeah, it's a proper event. I think Nick's playing. We'll do 4 games. We'll probably play some games on Thursday night. There is still a few, as I say this, on Tuesday the 12th, there are still a few slots available. So if anyone wants to come and join in, let me know and we'll find space for people. But yeah, as I said, there's some. We've all got some progress. So, and many of the gangs are almost on their way to maybe almost being completed. And I think we've all actually tried playing the game now, so that's a benefit. So, Bobbie, how are the vampires coming along?
They're coming along pretty well. I've spent ages painting them, and they're still not quite done. I think we kind of foretold that someone was going to be painting right up until the deadline, and it seems like I'm doing so. I'm getting there. There's just a few little things I want to tweak and just little details I want to tune up before we get there.
They're looking really good, though. I really like the turquoise greeny armor. Is something you don't see a lot.
Thanks. I thought I'd do something a little bit different. I really like the sort of Sons of Horus green, and the idea was that I wanted to put quite a lot of gore on them, and the red would have more contrast on green armor than it would if it was on like a red armor or a black armor.
Yeah. So you've got So it's Tuesday today, Wednesday tomorrow. You are going to be painting up until we leave.
yeah, pretty much. Tomorrow I've got some other minis to work on, but I've got to get those done and they're the priority.
And you've managed to get some games in?
Yeah, I've not actually been playing with my minis on a nice cardboard board. I've been playing through the Warhammer Underworlds PC game, which I got a code for in White Dwarf. So it was nice and cheap, pretty much free because I was buying the White Dwarf anyway.
Yeah.
And it's okay. It's a little bit limited. You've only got 2 gangs unless you buy DLC. And the cards appear really briefly, so if you don't know the cards, you've got and you can't scan read really quick. You have to kind of like try and find out what the hell is going on. But other than that, it's allowed me to sort of play through the turn sequence and learn the basic of the game.
Yeah, I started using it a little bit when I was away last, and it was handy to remember how things go. But yeah, you're right. Those cards appear and disappear really, really fast. I think I was lucky enough to get some sort of, I think I got some sort of Steam bundle on like a Humble bundle where I got it with with loads of the DLC, not all of it, but like a lot of it. So I've got 6 or 7 teams.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Yeah, you only get the Stormcast and the Khorne ones that's as on the base game, which they're fun enough to play, and you can play against the other 6 or 7 or however many there are.
Yeah, there are.
You just can't play as them.
It's not fully up to date, is it? And I always think like it would do a lot better if they tried to keep it vaguely in sync with because then you'd be able to practice the team you're actually trying to play with.
Yeah. That would be better, but
that would be tough, though, I guess.
They would have to give this information to the development team before the miniatures came out. So,
what are the chances of anyone knowing that? Also, I believe there has been some tragic misfortune with the plan to play Warhammer Underworld.
Yeah, no, some real tragedy happened because we're playing with so many cards. I thought, I get a nice deck box to put them all in and get some nice sleeves and stuff to keep my cards nice, especially as we're possibly playing in Bugman's. You don't want beer on your cards. But I got a bit distracted and ended up with some cards of other vampires.
Those aren't Warhammer.
No, not Warhammery cards at all. But I've been having fun playing with them, and that's the main thing is having fun with the hobby. So
it is. It's a bloody rabbit hole, though, isn't it?
And I don't have to do edge highlighting on these; they're just fine as they are.
Do I need to drag out my old Sengir vampires from the 1990s and bring them up to Nottingham with me?
Well, yeah. No, the more vampires, the merrier, is what I always say.
Not quite sure we'll get away with that in Warhammer World.
No, I think we will get tossed out by our coat collars if we're playing Magic the Gathering.
That might be one to save for the hotel, possibly.
Brilliant. Glad you've got some practice in. That's good. Especially now we're playing strangers. Russ, how are you doing? I think I saw you doing some gaming and also doing a lot of painting.
Yeah, so I've really gone a bit over the top. I've spent so much time painting these chaps. Put a lot of time and energy into the main model in particular. But this fella is now just a little bit further along than the photos I sent you, but I think he is finished. Mm-hmm. He's taken up a huge chunk of my life over the last sort of few weeks. And I've reached that stage, I was saying earlier, I think I've reached a stage now where I can look at the individual bits and go, yeah, that's all right. And another bit and go, yeah, that's all right. And then I look at the whole model as one, and I just go, I can't even figure out what I'm looking at. I think people say when you hear a word too many times, it sounds weird. I look at this model now and I look at it and I just go, dunno.
I wonder if Golden Demon painters get that.
I think they probably must, because they're obviously spending some of them, I think they're tens or 70, 80 hours I think on a single model, and it must just get to a stage where they don't even know what they're looking at anymore.
I always sometimes see people on Instagram painting in this way that never computes for me, but it's where people go, you see the model completely undercoated but they've completely painted the face.
Yeah.
And then they're going to completely paint the arm, and then they're going to completely paint the claws. And I wonder if that's some way of mentally getting around it, because I can't do it like that.
Having said that, I did completely paint this guy's legs first. I painted his trousers first, then his boots. Then I finally put down the base colours for his coat before I got most of the rest of it done. And so I was sort of doing one section at a time. So it kind of feels hard to judge how the whole model is going to look overall, because I knew I wanted to use that same Sons of Horus sort of colour and Lupercal green, Sons of Horus green, those sort of colours. Because I wanted some sort of quite oceany colours on this guy.
Yeah.
So I knew roughly, and I knew I wanted him to have a ginger beard. So I knew I knew roughly what colours I wanted to use. But it was still really hard to picture him until I got quite close to the end of how he'd look overall. So yeah, I'd imagine it must be something. I'd imagine if I was going to try and do Golden Demon, I'd want to buy 2 of the models, do one with all the base colours on, where it was just a really rough, all the great painters you hear sometimes, their rough draft of a certain picture turns up, and it's
But then they
Still
do the real
looks
one.
pretty bloody good to me. But I wonder if like Golden Demon painters ever sit down and have like a reference model and the actual model they're painting.
Yeah.
It seems like it might be something that the very, very top painters might do. I don't know though.
The little guys are looking good as well.
Yeah, so I think I finished Mange the Monkey. I think apart from his loincloth and maybe one more highlight on his bandages, I think I finished KG. Oh, well, now I've luckily not done him in when I just dropped him there. I think he fell on just his paint handle then. Pegs, I've got some work to do, which I might get done tonight. And the main one is Screech. I need to get all these feathers highlighted, and I want to try and paint an actual sort of feather pattern on each feather, which might be something which I hopefully get done tomorrow
by Thursday.
Yeah, I know. I mean, they'll all be finished as such. It might just be that one's got some final touches that don't quite get done. We'll see.
Yeah. Brilliant. Good. And Gary, how have you? So look, we all know that you finished your entire gang in like a day and had it finished and ready to go by the first update.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've just been grabbing the occasional game when I can. I've played you a few times, Russ and Nathan. I'm just sort of eyeballing the last couple of card swaps in my deck building. I'm pretty happy with all of it.
Right, you found out that your deck is actually pretty good as it basically your rival's deck, the deck that the Witch Elves come with, is pretty good.
Yeah, I've probably kept about 60-70% of it. So.
Mind you, Gary did come a cropper against my my Buccaneers.
Oh, yeah,
mainly down to the worst dice I've ever seen anyone roll in a single game of Underworlds. But you know, it can happen again.
Yeah. Pegs was my undoing. I think he just was shrugging off attacks and killing elves left, right, and center.
He killed 2 of your Witch Elves in the first turn, didn't he?
Yeah.
And I think, managed to play an upgrade on him like fairly early on, and fluke a couple of kills against Gary, and never really recovered from that, did you?
No.
Yeah.
That's pretty good going for just a little nobbler.
Yeah.
No, it was one of those sort of how the hell did all that just happen scenarios. That will never happen again.
It was the easy one I went for. I'll get some of the little ones, get my upgrades going, and just bounce off. You know?
Yeah.
That's the opposite experience I've had against Gary, where despite me having just guns, I cannot hit anything, and he defends everything.
Yeah, it's a very swingy game, you know. So you have to accept the games that go bad.
Yeah. The you did try. You've got some like accessories though.
Yeah. So one of the things I have a problem with is trying to remember my objectives, you know, in the right time. So I thought I'd try one of those card rails where you put it in front of you, look at the cards continuously as you're playing. But with the games that we played, I just thought that it was taking up table space, and I wasn't really looking at it. So it's no different to just picking up the cards.
They're bridge stands, aren't they? They're for games like that.
Yeah, you know, maybe I'll give it another go. But I think, there, Russ has got one too.
Oh my God,
Going well, Russ.
It's so soft and smooth. It's lovely.
Yeah, nice bit of fun. Yeah, I mean, it's a good thing, but it's only going to be good if I look at it.
Yeah.
You know, the idea is that it's something that I have to train myself to look at, so I may as well just train myself to look at my cards, you know, in my hand.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess there's a world where if you could find a way of putting all of them on it, if you found a way of putting all of them on it, then you'd be forced to look at the whole lot all the time. But it feels like you'd need a much bigger stand.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure what other people do. Maybe they put all their cards on one big fan so that they're always looking at them as they're looking at their power cards. Whereas I always seem to have two fans of cards. One objectives I tend to put face down going, I'll remember that. And I never do.
I might need to do the same because I've had the same thing once or twice. I think I generally managed to remember them just in time. But yeah, it's one of those sort of, I don't know, how do I concentrate on this a bit better sort of things.
Yeah, and I have this issue where I'll what you think is I'll look at these 3 objectives and it's only 4 moves, I'll totally remember it, but then you forget that in one move loads of stuff happens and you played a load of other cards, but you just lose track really quick.
Yeah,
You don't want to miss the opportunity to score the surges, because that makes or breaks the pace of the game.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
the
one thing when
surges-
we're playing. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, the surges seem like a really core thing. That's one thing that if you're playing like the video game version, it just, as soon as you've done the thing, it tells you, yeah, get some glory. But trying to remember to actually win the game does seem like quite an important thing to do.
Yeah.
It's one thing when we're playing each other, and like I know, like if I've played against Gary and Nathan and Ian, I don't think any of you have got. Oh, sorry, like 10 seconds ago, I should have just scored this surge. And like none of us are going to say to each other, "Well, tough." But if we're going to play in sort of even though it's going to be a sort of fairly informal beginners tournament, you don't mind doing that to your opponent once or twice, but you don't want to be doing that all the time, all through the.
I think, to be honest, when I've played Nick's Bugman's Clashes before, which are also like Rivals Plus format, and pretty much all of them I've sat down and gone, look, I haven't played that many games. I might forget what I'm doing, and everyone's been really nice about it. Usually because there are of course actual Warhammer Underworlds tournaments which are in championship mode, and everyone plays each other 3 times, does best of 3 and all that, and it's very explicit that what we do isn't that.
Yeah.
Even then, though, you don't want to be that opponent who's just an absolute nuisance, being completely scatterbrained. And it's like, oh, sorry, you don't mind doing it once or twice, but you don't want to be the worst opponent in the world who's just absolutely useless either.
So trigger which is going to get you a kill or something, it's wrong to go back to that, so you kind of go, I'll try and remember that for next time. So,
yeah. Well, look, at least good research, Gary. I'm not sure if that will solve the issue, but I guess we'll find out. The other thing,
how about you, Ian?
Well, to be honest, I've been getting a bit of help from Gary, so I was busy for a couple of weeks on the show, but this weekend, as promised, in time to actually try Thunderix again on the table, I painted them. I painted them all the base colours on Saturday afternoon. Then Saturday evening, I got the airbrush out and I covered. Basically, I painted all the metallics, so like silver, gold, bronze, brass, copper, that sort of thing. Just blocking in the base colours. And then I did what I said. I got the airbrush out, 3 different colours of rust, covered them in that, then sponge weathered them back up with silver on the edges, and then tipped the Model Mates rust dye, which is just film industry dirty down, really. Tipped that all over them, and I think probably I didn't need to do as much painting beforehand, really. After that, they were kind of pretty rusty. They're looking pretty rusty. Saturday night, I gloss varnished them, filled in the last few bits that aren't meant to be metal, gloss varnished them, and Sunday I oil washed them and removed the wash and put them on bases. So they're done. I just need to give them one more coat of matte varnish, and then I think they'll be finished. That's good. I did as I planned. I didn't do any painting at all until 3 days ago, and then just did the whole lot.
You know what I might need to do? I might need to bring mine. I might need to bring the varnish with me and varnish them in the hotel in the bathroom overnight or something. I don't think they're going to be ready to be varnished before I have to pack them.
Well, yeah, so
plastic miniatures aren't as bad as the old metal ones. You'll get away.
They'll probably be all right for a day, let's be honest.
Yeah, they'll be fine.
The other thing I did was play some more games. So me and Gary had some games. Worth pointing out that, Thunderix are not well suited to the current game. They're quite underpowered, I think. They have a real problem. I have not won a single game with that gang at all. I think the best I've got was a draw against Russ, and that was your first game.
Yeah, that was like my first. That was probably my like 3rd game or 4th game ever, and the first for at least a year and a half, maybe 2 years.
The cards are just they're a gang that only inspire, and they only get a lot of shots or anything above 1 damage when they inspire, and they only inspire by completing objectives. But their normal deck doesn't include any surges, and the essentials deck, while it includes a couple of surges, they're not really ones they can get. Like, it includes Branching Fate, which says that you can, if you roll 3 dice in an attack and they are different symbols, you get a point, which would upgrade one of my guys, except none of them do 3 dice in the first round before they're upgraded.
That's
stuff
a bit
like
of a
that.
problem.
Or there's lots of, there's stuff which is like, surge objective, if you get the following, hold this or get near this objective, and you're like, well, they've only got 2 moves, so that's not going to happen either. But I believe Gary has attempted to solve this problem as the most knowledgeable about this game, and has built me a deck out of Illusory Might that we're hoping is going to change this.
Yeah, so in the Illusionary Might, you've got a lot of cards you can play for free, like upgrades that last one round. So you'll be able to power up a little bit to get those kills and get those objectives. So, you know, get the ball rolling. I think it'll work.
Well, we're going to find out. We're going to try and get another game in tomorrow night, so I can at least have played one game with this new deck before Thursday. But it's okay. I'm very much used to playing to losing at Underworlds. All my games before this one have been with the Dread Pageant, which are I love them, but yeah, then also not the most powerful of teams. So yeah, we'll see.
You did thump me 17-6 with them in the game prior to the one where we tied.
With the Dread Pageant.
Oh, no, that was after turn 2. It was like 24-6, I think, in the end.
Yeah, that was with Dread Pageant. Yeah. That was your first game, wasn't it? Yeah. It doesn't count if it's your first game.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
the Dread Pageant beat me as well. You beat me with Dread Pageant.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. So Dread Pageant, we can conclude, are slightly better than Thundrix.
There is a big element, though. I think you need to know your deck at least a little bit. I think once you have a clue, like I've played more with Lady Harrow's Mournflight than anything else. Yeah. And I kind of have reached a stage where I know what I need to do with them because I know how the things inspire. I sort of know the deck a little bit. I think, whereas I've only used Gorloks, Blackbeards, Buccaneers once, so I'm going to be in all sorts of bother on Friday.
You've also got
autopilot, right?
Say again, sorry?
Yeah, your deck goes into a bit of autopilot. Like once you've got the cards in your hand, you know what you're doing with them. Yeah.
A little bit, although I have mixed it with some essential cards as well to make that even more so. Yeah, it should be a sort of runs itself sort of set of cards for me. Hopefully, is the way I've tried to build the deck.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's also a thing about decks that seem to be keyed towards something which maybe wasn't the case in the earlier warbands that were released for the game. Like you were playing your ghosties with the Illusory Might deck, and of course the Illusory Might deck all works together. Like it's built to be synergistic. The Dread Pageant that I was playing with also have loads of cards that benefit their innate skills, and it all works together. Same with, and Gary's one really, the Witch Elves really seem to work like that. I think maybe Thundrix just don't have a rivals deck that is set up to sort of do that. But look, we will find out. I will play that game tomorrow, and then we will get to Thursday where we're going up to Warhammer World. We're going to play a few prep games, and then the Friday event. So maybe we'll all be ready for that. Maybe we'll get to play each other before then. But if not, yeah, we're gonna be meeting 20 more people and playing Underworlds all Friday, and we're almost ready.
This close.
Thanks everyone, brilliant. Look, thanks for jumping on. Thanks for doing this mini version. I'm going to bring my cameras to the event, and we will do one more update afterwards, and then it's onwards
to something else. Any ideas what we could do next?
I mean, everyone knows what we're doing next by now, right? That's why you've all bought...
I have been hinting very strongly on Twitter what we're going to be doing next.
I've been
I'm really looking forward to Chainsaw Warrior.
I've been desperately publishing how to see YouTube videos in the hope of getting invited to that fucking event, but yeah, we'll see. Bobbie, sorry, what were you going to say?
Say everyone paint their own Steve.
Everyone paint their own Steve.
Paint your own. Bring your own Steve
for the Chainsaw Warrior Tale of 4 Gamers. Yeah, brilliant, great. Thanks everybody, brilliant. Well, look, I'll see you all in person on Thursday night. We'll see 20 more people on Friday, and next time we will meet up to wrap up this and maybe start on the next one. See you next time.
Take care. See you later.
See
you.
Bye.
Bye.